Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I'm grateful you took some time out of your busy schedule to visit your favorite YouTube podcast. Here we are together again on radio. So I'm going to do something different for tonight's show. I wanted to give a little insight into I guess, side career, I suppose. Those of you that have been following me for a while on my channel know about my video game history and my creative background. Or some of you don't know that I'm also an author. So I started YouTube about 13 years ago. Mostly started with a bunch of silly videos I made with just dancing, making random videos, wearing a Spider-Man mask, and then it kind of evolved into a gaming channel. So that's kind of what I settled on. But like my gaming is one of my passions. My other passion is writing. I might have mentioned it a few times on the channel through various videos. Maybe indirectly, but like this is going to be more of an in-depth look into my first book. It's on sale on Amazon. It's called Shades of Color, and it is inspired by much of the comics I grew up with, TV shows I grew up with, X-Men animated series, Superman animated series, Spider-Man animated series, Batman, and I take little bits and pieces of these shows and movies that I've grown up with and crafted my own story. So I'm going to share the screen now and show you. It is on Amazon on sale. One second. So it should be on the screen right now. Yeah, here it is. Shades of Color on Amazon.com, $15. So if anyone has seen like shows like Smallville, it's kind of inspired by that a little bit. It's a coming of age story mixed with obviously the fictional superhero stuff, and I also wanted to make it a little more grounded and like so this character exists in a world full of metahumans, but there's also other heroes out there. The theme of the story is that anyone can be a hero. So there's people with abilities, and there's CIA agents, cops, firefighters, paramedics. And I mix a little bit, I jump around a little bit with these characters back and forth, kind of make it a little more flexible, I suppose. It's one of those things I picked up with the show 24. It's got a lot of inspiration from that series. And also, I bought just about the entire series. Most of it's on my tablet. I got some on my Apple TV. And the political aspects of that show had really grabbed my attention in ways that I didn't really expect. Usually, that type of stuff happened when Jack wasn't even on screen. It's like when I jump around different parts of the world, everything happening at the same exact time. It's like because like when I was sit down to write this story, I'm like superheroes are awesome in their own way, but I think when they're grounded, I think it makes it work a little bit better. Because then you think about like even with the newest Superman movies, like how do these people react to someone with his type of power? And it's like even so, the main character's name is Michael. Even though Michael's just not is adjusting to his abilities and all that stuff, What happens when another person from around the world loses control of their powers and causes trouble for everybody else? That sort of thing. Like it took a lot of inspiration from creators like Stan Lee and George R. R. Martin, J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, all these people that have also found success with their writing. And it gives me hope that I can do the same, maybe not to the same degree, but it will be, I'm just saying, it will be awesome to sign books at Comic Con someday. Just saying. Like when I sat down to write Shades of Color, I knew from the beginning I didn't want my main character to be a Superman knockoff because I feel like it's too easy when people create new characters. I always try to because everybody takes from something. Everybody borrows himself and George Lucas borrowed from TV serials he grew up with watching. I've taken ideas from comics I grew up with and TV shows and movies. It's ironic because I've been pretty critical about James Gunn's DCU, and then I end up actually loving the Superman movie. I'm looking forward to Supergirl as well, and the Green Lantern show. But it's kind of inspired me to build a world around my main character versus just having it set in one city like New York City or Gotham City or something, especially since he can fly. Like characters that can fly, I think, should be a little more versatile with where they save lives instead of just being rooted in one city. So I took that sort of inspiration as well. And then this show, Invincible, has also been pretty inspiring as well. First couple of seasons. This season's okay so far. I'm not entirely sure what the verdict is just yet. The last episode was a little disappointing as far as like Invincible versus Conquest. I was looking for a little more of a brawl, straight up brawl again. But I just like, yeah. Yeah. So my main character's name is Michael, and he lives, like I said, lives in a world of metahumans. Some are bad, some are inspired to be heroes. And there are also heroes out there like cops, firemen, doctors, maybe a struggling parent. And I like the transition sequences to keep the suspense going. Another thing I got from 24 with the suspense gets your heart pounding before and after the commercial break. I never watched 24 on TV, but every time it goes to commercial, you're kind of like on the edge of your feet. Or so I've been told. So like another show that I took inspiration from as far as like grounding heroes in the in the real world, still called Heroes. It was grounded, but aside from the powers these people have, like Peter Petrelli, Hiro Nakamura, they were people first, and the powers were always secondary to the story. And I've always liked that. I bought one. I think I bought one season. Season two was terrible. There was a writer's strike back in the early 2000s that destroyed that show, and it was never the same after season one. I also got some spin-offs in the works, but those are in like very early development stages. I'm not really going to worry about those right now. But this one book is actually on sale now. And I just wanted to get that out there because I'm still tweaking the first story. Like this one's done, but I'm a couple hundred pages into book two. I still want to like tweak a little bit for the first one and then just maybe post another version of book one on Amazon.com. But like, you don't need to worry about the spin-offs right now. I just want to take some time and share this with an audience here about my book career. So the book is called Shades of Color. It is set in a place called Pacific Bay. It is a coming of age story. It is a book about heroes. Anyone can be a hero in this story. That's the whole point. So yeah, I listened to some interviews with like Stephen King where he talked about how he doesn't like writing using notebooks for his books. He writes like gazillion books. I don't know how he does it, but somehow he's managed to make quite a career by doing it. I get where he's coming from when he says he doesn't like notebooks, but for me, I can't remember half the details of my characters without my notebooks. So I just something I just have to do. So like in the last year or so, I've taken some inspiration from different shows of heroism, like that have more grounded heroism, like police procedurals, like Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Law and Order, the original Law and Order, not the newer ones. And there's a lot of those out there. I'm actually kind of amazed at how many I've actually been stumbling upon to get ideas from. Like with Chicago PD, I love how the characters feel real. And I've gotten up to about season 8 now. And the characters is pretty cool getting to know these characters and going on these different adventures with them. Give myself some ideas for this book series I'm doing. So I always like to take those type of aspects and mix them into my story. I don't know how many books I'm going to do. I've gone back and forth on whether or not to make it one book or just do a series. I think I'm going to do a series, at least a couple of them, see how it goes. But like my thing has always been world building. This is why I always take aspects from different things I've grown up with and whatnot. I think it's important to establish a foundation when you're writing a story, any story. This is why sometimes I like the slow build up for stories, like with Superman. There was a little bit of a, it's not a slow moving film, but there's definitely enough to get your attention. But I wanted to take my time with this and really, really dive into this world before it becomes what it becomes, before it becomes Pacific Base Protector. I also want to give them a little bit of background on military, just to give them a little more flexibility and versatility. Because a lot of heroes out there is they want a costume and go do their thing without any type of build up. And I think it's important to do that type of stuff in a book. It's easier to do that in a book than a TV show or even a movie, in my opinion. That's why I think a lot of movies out there struggle these days because there's no build up, no foundation. And granted, I'm still sifting through some ideas. Again, I'm on book 2 now. It's not quite ready yet because Amazon doesn't publish books that are under 200 pages, so I have to go back and add some things, tweak some things around. But the first book is done. $15 on Amazon. Be sure to leave a review if you want to check it out. It's also included with Kindle Unlimited, I believe it says here. Looks like it's also got Invincible right in their recommendations category, so it's already falling in with the comic book genre. Because I remember when I first got it, one of my earlier drafts in the mail, I thought of Back to the Future Part 1, when George I got his book in the mail. It just felt really familiar. I'm like, huh, so look at that. I think one of my favorite parts when I started to put more of this story together, not to give anything away, but added this really interesting political subplot to the story that I wasn't really expecting. And that's one of the best parts about writing is that it just takes you anywhere. Like you're really just a vessel when it comes to writing. Like the characters are the ones telling the story. I've always found it interesting and fascinating about writing. It's the thing most people can overlook. They just think like, oh, presto change or a book can be on the shelf. Like, no, it's a process. It's a very slow process. Every few hundred millennia, evolution moves forward. I mean, ideas can pop in your head any time of the day, any time of the night. And I used to play travel basketball, and I kind of walked away from it because I realized that wasn't my passion. Like ideas would be popping up in my head, like in the middle of playing basketball on the court or something. And I just realized after a while, I'm like, you know what? I think writing is my calling. So I'm just, I always liked sports, never loved sports. So I just figured I cut my losses in that regard. But I've had no reason to regret it. So I also wanted to make a character that actually goes through things, struggles with things. Because like another thing, like I said, I don't want it to be, didn't want it to be a Superman ripoff or something because it's tricky to make Superman a character that struggles because of his power set. The way people write him all the time, he's always like an uber powerful character, which he should be, but at the same time, it makes it difficult to write a character like that. How do you tell stories with someone like that? Before Smallville, I mean, Smallville is the one show that probably got it right. And then there was a Superman Lois series, animated series, kind of launched it after the 1930s series, of course, Max Fleischer cartoons. Yeah, so that's the basic gist of my book here. Like when I started writing, I think it was like maybe second, third grade. It was like fan fiction about like Batman or Superman or something. And then ideas just started evolving over time. I think I even started passing out my books around in high school. And looking back, I realized it probably could have made a small fortune selling that stuff. I was like, damn, I really could have sold this stuff. Like, if I had a DeLorean right about now, I'd go back and do things so much more differently. Like, Heroes is one of my inspirations for sure when it comes to writing my book. First season, at least. I don't know about the other season. Season two was awful, like I said earlier. And it just went downhill after season one. You could say the same for a lot of shows. Like there was another Superman cartoon, Adventures of Superman or something. Just I lost interest after a couple episodes. I just thought it was god awful. This Roman to be such a freaking wimp. I'm just like I couldn't take it anymore. Like this is ridiculous. It's the Superman 2 curse. Like I always say, ever since Superman 2, these male heroes have been complete pusses. at least once in a while. Dark Knight movies, even the Flash on the CW. Shit, even Oliver Queen in the Green Arrow show started off as a badass, became a complete puss once Felicity started taking over the show. This is so like when I try to avoid all that with my books. So like my main character, he's pretty powerful, but I wanted to ground him a little bit. Not make him too powerful, not too weak either. I didn't want to give him a kryptonite or anything stupid like that. But eventually, I eventually evolved into its own universe. Like I'm gradually building that up, and I'm excited to see where that goes. I have some ideas for a spinoff, like his sister also has abilities, and she's pretty powerful in her own right as well. So I'm looking forward to Supergirl movie and get some ideas from that. I think that's going to be a surprise for a lot of people. For me, I like to watch shows like the Supergirl series and get ideas from my female characters, like Michael's sister Rachel, who was pretty powerful. She got telekinesis, flight, and force fields like Invisible Woman or Jean Grey. So she's technically more powerful than her brother, but he'll never admit that. And that's the thing I like about him. That's why I'm always trying to train her, not to give anything away, but that's kind of a cool little aspect of the story that kind of put a little bit of myself into the character, which I think a lot of authors do. It's kind of unavoidable, but it's one of the things that just comes with the territory of writing. You got to put a little bit of yourself in the character, otherwise, it really won't work. But like the main thing I wanted to do was make a world full of heroes, whether they have powers or not, and just jump around different, tell different stories. Maybe something's going on in New York City, something's going on in Chicago or London. Maybe there's a metahuman terrorist somewhere around the world that makes trouble for everybody else, losing control of their abilities. Meanwhile, Michael's going to school in high school and it's learning to blend in, and then tragedy strikes and he winds up on a different path he never saw coming, which eventually leads to XYZ. You have to read the book to find out. But yeah, I'm excited to see where the series goes. I wasn't really expecting this to go anywhere. I've been working on this for a long time. Like I said, people are crying about George Martin not finishing The Winds of Summer or whatever it's called. Like, you have no idea how complicated it is to write a book. Just sitting behind your computer screen crying isn't going to change nothing. Because until you've written the book, you have no idea what you're talking about. It's just a fact. You don't. So Shades of Color, it is on sale, $15. It's about 226 pages. Like I said, Amazon doesn't really print books under 200 pages, so it's got to be a little fluffy with material. Check it out, leave a review. I will take as much criticism as I need to. I'm always looking to improve. And yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning into the show. Those that are interested, check out my book, Shades of Color. It's on Amazon.com. Look for the lightning bolt on the cover, front cover, $15. It's a good read. It's a coming of age story. It's a superhero story. It's a little bit grounded in realism, a little bit, not completely realism, obviously, but it's a themes about heroes. And yeah, if you watch shows like Smallville or read comics like Green Lantern or Superman, you just find something similar in this. Should be a good read, and I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get a little fan base down the line. It'll be kind of cool, I think. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning into the show, and I'll see you next time.